Hi, I'm Chang. I'm host and producer of Awake to Oneness Radio. I launched my podcast 6 months after my son Kyle transitioned to spirit. I was awakened in the middle of the night to just do it. Higher self, my Holy Spirit said, just do it. And the just do it was to launch a podcast and to also start a foundation in my son's name, Kyle Foundation. And Kyle stands for Keep Your Light Expanding. So I got up in the middle of the night and I Googled, how do you start a podcast? And that was in January of 2015, 6 months after my son's transition.
Mind, body, or soul? Which is the real us?
We are souls. Basically, the body, we're not our body. Our body is just an avatar. I mean, if you play computer games or, video games, you can pick your avatar. That's all our body is. Life is eternal. We are sovereign divine beings of light. That is what I coined the phrase as a soul. We're beings of light. Everything is energy and we are light beings. As humans, we like to identify with our body, but our body is very transitory. It is not here to stay, and we just like you get up in the morning and decide what you're going to wear. You do the same thing when you're in spirit. You choose what color you're going to be this time. You choose if you're going to be a man or a woman. You choose everything. You pick out your body the same way you would pick out a suit or a set of clothes in the morning. So we are souls, but I like to think of the soul as being a being of light.
Is a soul born? Does a soul die?
Reality has no beginning, it has no middle, it has no end. It just is. And it is all happening in the now. So a soul cannot be born and a soul cannot die. Now, the body, we're born into this life experience and we leave this life experience. So that's where we think of being born and death. But in truth, it's just a continuation of life. All life is a continuation of life.
What is the soul's relation to Source/God?
A soul and source are the same. God is everyone wanting to experience life. God and you are one, and always. God is always right here. God is no more than, He's inside your heart and soul every now moment. There's no separation. You are a divine aspect of God, all that is. You are God in a drop. My favorite quote is, "You're not a drop in the ocean. You're the entire ocean in a drop." That was Rumi. So each one of us is all of God in a drop. And you can't go by what that person is doing in this lifetime. You have to know that by knowing that God is a part of all. There's only one, and it's all God. When we know this in our heart and soul, when we meet someone, a stranger, no matter what that person is doing, if you remember that source, that's God in a drop. That person may not, that human being in his human consciousness doesn't remember that he's God, but you, as the awakened one, can remember who he is and treat him with love and kindness. And remember that when you know that everyone is God, you'll live your life that way. You'll treat everyone as God.
Are human incarnations voluntarily chosen?
Each one of us as a soul, as a being of light, plans our life experience before birth. We have guides. We have spirit team that's right there as we're planning. And sometimes we might choose to plan something very difficult in a lifetime. And our guides and our spirit team is like, are you sure? You sure you want to do that? You're like, yeah, you're in spirit. We're gung ho to do anything and everything because we know that this is a dream. This life experience is a dream of our own creation, but it was your soul's choice, and so we choose this. This is something we wanted, and we wanted to do it with. We couldn't wait to do it. We're like, put me in the game, coach. That's what we wanted when we were in spirit. We wanted to come down here and live this life experience.
What's the purpose of life on the physical plane?
We choose to come into this life experience for the experience. God through us wants to experience everything. But it's also for our soul's evolution. We want to evolve as souls. So it's we want to come and we want more experience. That's why we choose to come here. Actually, you evolve from what my understanding is. Because life here is so tough, the soul evolves quicker through life experience on earth than the soul would evolve in spirit. So, but yes, a soul can choose to not, there are souls, not every soul has been here, thank God. It's like, it's a tough, earth school is very tough. And not every soul, like, you know what, I'll pass on that, and they'll evolve in spirit. But from my understanding, a soul evolves quicker when they have a life experience on earth. So that's why they choose. It's like, okay, I wanna graduate quicker, so I'm coming to earth.
Describe the life review.
The purpose of a life review is to feel, literally, to feel what you caused another person, whether that be pain or hurt or sorrow or joy. When you have a life review, what you hope is that while you were here, you caused others joy. You helped heal people's pain. That's what you hope to experience when you live through your life review. And it goes by like say you live 99 years, your life review will go by in like a flash. But it's about you feeling your actions, your words caused this, either pain or joy in another person, and you actually feel exactly how that other person felt because you and that other person are not separate. You're one.
What is karma?
And after you go through that experience, you're like, oh, I want to go back. Not I gotta. I want to go back and make that right. I want that, what we call karma, and karma is just balance. Karma is not punishment. It's the soul saying, I want to make it right. Now, some souls may decide, okay, I want to make it right, but I'm going to make it right here in spirit. I mean, there's different ways to balance out karma, but the universe is balance. So what you put out into the universe will come back, but you choose.
Is there such a thing as hell?
Now, I do know that many NDEers have had hellish experiences that they have come from, but they also explain that as soon as they realized that they could call out to the light, it ended immediately. So I believe we create our reality. We create heaven or hell right here on earth in every now moment. And in the afterlife is the same way. We create whatever we're experiencing, and when we realize that we can reach up and reach out to the light, call out to the light. Sometimes people will say prayers, the Lord's Prayer, or cry out to Jesus or Buddha or Allah, Muhammad, whoever they look up to as a spiritual master, if they call out to that person, a lot of times that hellish NDE will end. There's no such thing as eternal hell. And we judge ourselves. We as God are judging our behavior. We review, oh, I hurt that person. Oh, I wish I didn't do that. I'm sorry. I want to try to make that right. And the way the universe is you have God is balance, meaning what you put out will come back. And how it comes back, you have a say. How you balance your karma, you have a say in how you balance your karma, because you can balance it from love or you can balance it from fear. And for me, the best way to balance out karma is love. It's just love or fear. Those are the two motivations. We do everything we do. We do it from love or fear. And in every now moment, you as a soul have a free will choice as to how to balance out your karma.
Many people experience challenges while living in a body. Does the soul seek such challenges? And if so, why?
Yes, all of our challenges, we plan. And our challenges are our greatest blessings. And I can say this as a mom who has my two children are now in spirit. My son Kyle transitioned 9 years ago. My daughter Nukia transitioned 8 months ago. And I only have two children and they're both in spirit. And I know that I planned that. That was a plan, that was a soul plan that the three of us made before my birth. And so and I know especially parents are saying, how could anybody plan such a difficult life experience? We plan it, like I said, when it comes to exactly why we made those plans, I would have to go back to spirit to find out my past lives. But those soul plans, I know that everything that happens in my life is a soul plan. So with my children passing, that I know that was a soul plan. And when you know that everything that's happening in life, it's not a challenge, your challenge, it is a challenge, but it is your blessing. It's a blessing to wake you up. We plan challenges to help us to wake up, to remember who we are and why we came. And when you wake up to the truth of who you are and why you came, and you start living that truth, there's no greater joy. Money can't buy that. There's no greater joy than living your soul's purpose. And that only comes from understanding that that challenge you just went through was a challenge you planned to help you remember why you came.
Do we have soul groups that we incarnate with across different lifetimes?
Yes, we do incarnate with our soul family. We have a soul family and we live many, 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 many lifetimes with our same soul family. We change like relationship. Maybe in one lifetime, you're the mom and a daughter, and then another lifetime, now the mom is the daughter. And so we change, we come into lives many times with our soul family.
Do we choose our parents or other family members ahead of time?
Yes, we pick our parents before we're born, but not only our parents. Every encounter, when you pass a person on the street, that was a soul encounter that you planned. We cannot we cannot encounter another being unless we planned it beforehand. We also not only do we pick our parents, and our parents do agree, so we pick our parents and then our parents agree because everything is by soul agreement. Nothing happens to a soul that soul has not agreed upon. So we not just our parents, we pick our whole family. We pick before we're born, and everybody that we encounter, we pick them before we were born.
Do spirit guides or angels assist us?
We have have an entire team of spirit guides and angels and archangels and loved ones that have transitioned. Our spirit team is so huge, and they are with us all the time. It's like if we could see them, it's like we would be, every step we make, we would be walking with like hundreds, if not thousands, of our spirit team, because we have guides, we have angels, we have um, ascended masters, we have loved ones. They're all part of our spirit team.
What is the veil of forgetting and why do we need it?
We forget who we are because actually one of the main purposes of coming into this lifetime is remembering. That's the soul evolution, is to remember who you are. But if you never forgot, you never have to remember. So to have that soul evolution, to have that experience, we come here for the experience of life. And to have an experience of life, we have to forget who we are. But the main purpose of everyone's here for a different mission. And everybody has different abilities. But one of the things all souls want to do when they come to Earth is wake up and remember who they are. And everybody is remembering and waking up in their own divine timing, because the soul will wake you up when it's time for you to wake up. That's part of your soul plan. You're waking up. Your soul has planned, okay, now and I say this all the time, not every soul plans to wake up in this lifetime. And it's okay. If a soul feels like I need more 3D experience, I need more 3D Earth experience, I'm going to stay with 3D Earth. It's fine. That's not a judgment. There's never a judgment on what a soul decides to do.
Discuss the role of free will in a given incarnation.
I love when I talk about free will and destiny because people think they're opposites when they're the same. Okay, when we think about a soul plan, we think about a straight line. But your soul plan, if you looked at your soul plan, it would look like a spider web. Because in every now moment, you have the free will choice of responding in that moment with love or fear. That's free will. What you do in the now moment is free will. But your soul plan, like certain things are destined for you to do. Certain things are destined for you to, people to meet, things to do. That's your soul plan. But when you meet those people, or when those events happen, those tragedies, when those tragedies happen in your life, you can rise above it, or you can choose not to rise above it. So that tragedy was planned, and how you respond in the now moment is free will. So destiny and free will go hand in hand.
Is life on the physical plane an illusion?
Our life is a dream of our own creation. The thing I love, for me, I'm grounded in the science of the spirituality, because science has proven that we don't live in a solid world. And I learned that in 7th grade science class. I'll never forget when my 7th grade teacher, science teacher, said, we don't live in a solid reality. You put anything under a high-powered microscope, all you see are tiny atoms that don't even touch, meaning what you're looking at is not even solid. It's energy. Vibrating is what it is. So what we live in science has also recently proved that we're living in a simulation, but that simulation is of our own making. We are the creators of our reality. And this is a dream. We're having a dream, our own dream. We're the director, we're the producers, we're the writers. Everything that goes on in our dream, we create. So it is a dream of our own creation, but it is an important dream because it's a dream for our soul's evolution. Our higher self chose to have this dream for an important reason for our soul.
Describe the life between lives.
Our soul goes back to spirit, the astral realm, and we have different experiences. We experience. I think every soul at some point will have a life review of the life that soul just left, and that life review is very important because from that life review, that soul will decide: do I want to go back to Earth, or do I want to go on to other experiences in spirit or other planets? We know that it's not just Earth is not the only planet you can have an experience on. So from that soul review, and then from all the life experiences that soul has lived, that soul can decide what that soul wants to do next. And it's that soul that makes that decision, nobody else. Life between lives is very interesting because just like life here, we all have different purposes and different missions and live very different lives here. We do the same thing in the afterlife. We can take time. We can decide we want to come right back to Earth, or we can decide we want to hang out in the spirit realm for a while. There's schools, there are libraries, there's all kinds of. My son mentioned he's going to school in the afterlife. My son also said to me that, Mom, no rush, but when it's your time, I'm going to give you the tour. And I know when my daughter transitioned, because my daughter just transitioned 8 months ago, my son transitioned 9 years ago. I know as soon as I got the word that my daughter transitioned, I knew my son was right there to bring her to the spirit realm, to guide her. And her grandparents were there. And they were all there to guide her and to show her. So our life in the afterlife is very different from one another, just like it's very different here. We create our life here, and we're creating our life in the afterlife. And it's a unique experience for each of us.
Where is heaven?
I'm in heaven right this minute. I'm in heaven in every now moment. Every time I wake up and I look at the sunshine, whether it's raining or the sun is shining, I'm in heaven because I've never left heaven. I've never left God. So heaven is knowing who you are and knowing that you're creating. We can create heaven in every now moment, and we can create hell in every now moment. We have that power. So heaven is not a place. Heaven is a state of being. And you can choose to be in heaven right here, right now.
How do you define forgiveness?
It's not an easy thing being in the human experience and being hurt and forgiving people. Forgiving a person does not mean you allow that person to continue to mistreat you or abuse you. Never, never, never be a doormat for anyone. So many times you have to separate yourself from a person. I always continue to give that person, send that person love and light from a distance. You know, I'll think of that person, I'll surround them wherever they are with love and light. I'll send, and I know I'm that powerful that even without me saying it, just by doing it, forgiving them, surrounding them with love and light, wishing them well. But if it's a physical situation where you're being physically harmed by someone, please do what you can to separate yourself from that person. And once you are in a safe place, you can, and you understand that person doesn't remember who they are. That person is acting out of pain. Because that's when a person hurts another person, it's all because of their internal pain. It's nothing you did. They have internal issues that they need to work through. And sometimes you need to physically separate yourself from that person. But once you are awakened to the truth of who you are and the truth of who they are, you automatically forgive. It's automatic non-judgment. It's automatic unconditional love. and it's unconditional forgiveness for everyone. Let me give you an example of forgiveness. I did a show many years ago with a gentleman whose son was killed in at 21 years old. He was a pizza delivery boy, and he got killed by a 14-year-old boy in a gang in LA. And the gang had asked this 14-year-old to be a part of this gang, you have to kill somebody. So this 14-year-old boy killed this 21-year-old boy. And the father, after a few years, the father went to the prison and visited the boy that killed his son and started visiting him on a regular basis. Now, this happened many years ago. Now he's a man, grown man. He's been out on parole. He's out of jail. And the father and him have formed a close bond, and they do talks together on forgiveness. So this is a man who forgave a boy that killed his son. And now they talk together about forgiveness. That is how true forgiveness works, when you understand. And also the father understood that this was just a boy, a child that killed his son, and gave, gave this boy love. So it was love that changed this boy's life, and now they're together, working together.
Discuss the idea of oneness/unity and how we can apply it in our everyday lives.
Oneness for me was the key to my awakening. And oneness to me is very simple, meaning I awaken to the truth that I am one with God. I am one with everyone on the planet, not just people. I'm one with every tree, every blade of grass. All there is God. When I understood that, that's what had me change my entire way of living, because it became that I know no matter how badly a person's acting, they're not separate from me and they're not separate from God. My terminology for God is all that is. And when you truly understand it, not from a mental, intellectual level, because honestly, I can tell you, a lot of people talk about oneness from the intellect, but they don't understand it here in the heart and in the soul. When you know oneness, know it, not believe it. Know it like breathing. Your life will change. And in every now moment, you want to live in a space of unconditional love for everyone. And that oneness and the unity within diversity is something I talk about a lot. Meaning you don't have to agree. You don't have to fight. You don't have to debate. You don't have to argue. Because for me, when you fight, debate, or argue, you're trying to make that other person wrong. And you're trying to say, I'm better than that other person. When we're always equal. There's no one better than another. Now that person you don't condone their actions, but you don't need to impose yourself on them. You allow them to have their free will. You allow them so you can come to an agreement. Okay, we disagree on that topic, but I still love you. I still respect you. I'm still your friend. That's that's unity within diversity, because there's 8 billion people on the planet, and we all see the world differently. We're not going to all agree. We want unity. Being diversity, our diversity is what makes us beautiful. What makes humanity great is our diversity. So it's about loving and respecting, and you don't have to always agree, but you can always love and respect each other. And that was the main thing when I awoke into the universal truth of oneness. I realized God's not separate from me. That was my big understanding. The peace that surpasses all human understanding. When you know you're never separate from God, you're never separate from all that is, you're always love. You are love. The essence of God is love. The essence of you is love. And when you know that, regardless of what's happening in the outer world, regardless of what's happening on the news, which I turned off 22 years ago, regardless of what's happening outside of you, when you can just go within and tap into who you truly are, which is God in a drop, you can tap into that peace that surpasses all understanding. And that is when you are in heaven and with God.
Many believe we're shifting to a higher consciousness on this planet. Do you agree? And if so, can you describe this shift?
For a long time, people in the spiritual community have been hearing about the Great Awakening. I have a very strong connection to my higher self. My higher self told me in March of 2020, the Great Awakening has begun. Now, when I get these messages, and I've been getting these messages my entire life, I listen. I pay attention. I have been celebrating since March of 2020. I have taken myself out of what I call the 3D matrix. And I have been living in 5D New Earth for the last 3.5 years. Because it, again, is a state of being. The 5D New Earth, one thing you need to know to be in a state of 5D New Earth is the universal truth of oneness, that you are not separate from anyone and you're not separate from God. That is the key. Universal oneness is the key to the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is a place of love and peace. There's no crime. There's no war. There's no poverty. There's no homelessness. There's no pain. There's no illness. There's no sickness. And there is no death. In the fifth dimension, there is no death. Now, right now, what we're going through is our bodies, our DNA is being transformed from carbon base to crystalline base. Because we won't die. We will have the same body, but it won't be carbon based. It will be crystalline based, and we can live in that body for eternity if we want. Or we could say, okay, I'm tired of this body. I want a new one. Yeah, it's heaven on, what the fifth dimension is heaven on earth. And humanity is at a crossroads right now. And we choose, it's one of two choices, love or fear. If you choose, if you wake up every morning and every moment of the day, you choose love, you're on the road to the fifth dimension. Now, if you wake up and you are in a state of fear every day and all you can talk about is fear, 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 you're on the road of staying in the 3D matrix, which there is no judgment. There's never a judgment because life is eternal. A soul may decide, I need more 3D experience. That's okay. That is that soul's choice. All you can do is share in love and light. And if they don't want to hear it, you did your best. You shared in love and light, and you don't argue with someone who decides they want to stay in a state of fear. Because if you argue with them, all you're doing is lowering your frequency and you're going to where they're at. You want to stay in love. You want to send them love. You want them to come with you to 5D. But you can't it's sovereignty. It's free will. You have to allow a soul their free will. And if their free will is not to come at this time, it's not there. But it doesn't mean everyone returns to source. So it's all good.
What are some practical applications of the idea that we're eternal spiritual beings?
The best way to live, for me, this is my opinion and my belief in how I live, is in the now, in the perfect eternal now moment. The past nows are gone. The future nows have not gotten here. We can only live life in this now moment. Now, what we choose this is where free will comes in. What we choose to do in this now moment is our point of power. So for me, just staying grounded in the now, staying thankful in every now moment, looking around, whether it's raining, whether it's sunny, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, finding something in every now moment to say thank you. My only prayer is thank you. Because everything I'm experiencing, I know is for my highest good. So that's the other thing. I stay in the now. I know that every now moment is eternally perfect and divine. Every now moment, regardless of what happened, regardless if I'm in an accident, car accident, but I'm not harmed. Yeah, I don't want to feel pain. So, regardless if I'm in the car accident, okay, boom, somebody just hit me in the rear end, and I got to pull over. I'm like, okay, then we got to exchange, insurance information and all that. It's like, okay, this happened. I can't change it. It happened. It's the isness of the now moment. When we push against what's happening in the now moment, that's what causes us pain. When we just like accept and allow, it's like, okay, this guy just rear-ended me. He just bumped me. Got to pull over. We got to exchange information. I got to get the bumper fixed, or, it is what it is. So why push against it? That's what causes pain. To me, what causes pain and suffering is us pushing against what is. When we allow what is and look at what is and say, okay, now this happened. What's my best course of action from here? And just in each moment, do the best I can in that moment and not push against. Like I don't push against the fact that both my children are in spirit. I understand that it was a soul plan and that I'm still here. My son has told me, and I have his voice on tape saying this, that I'm here for a reason and I'm doing it. I'm living the reason I came. So I know when you know that you can live life with joy, you can live life with peace and not push against the now moment. That's important. Be thankful for every now moment.
How do you define happiness?
Happiness is a state of being. It not A lot of people, we think, okay, you have $1 million, you have the big house, you have the car, you have the yacht, you have all that. That doesn't bring you. You can look really just within life and see that doesn't bring you happiness. I mean, I'm just thinking of all the famous people that had all of that were never happy. The material wealth will not bring you happiness. Happiness is an internal state of being. When you are living for me, it's living my passion, living my soul purpose, knowing who I am and living my soul purpose brings me joy in every now moment. So I just want to share that with everybody and encourage and inspire. I don't even say I'm a teacher. What I try to do is inspire people to go within, tap into their truth, live their passion, live their joy, so they can feel what I'm feeling. Because that's why we came. Well, what I'm most grateful for, that's an easy question to answer. I am so grateful that I am awake to who I truly am. If I was not awake, and I've had people say this to me, especially since my daughter transitioned to spirit 8 months ago, I've heard many people say to me, because everyone knew my son was in spirit, like, oh no, now her daughter. And people will say, I don't know how she's still standing. So if I was not awake to who I truly am as being one with God, one with all of life, knowing that I am the creator of my life. I'm not a victim. Not a victim. And we cannot be a creator of our life and a victim of our life at the same time. Like lots of people like to say, oh, when something good happens, I created that. something bad happens. Oh no, that's somebody else's fault. No, you're either a creator of your life or you're a victim of life. You can't be both. And I know that I'm a creator of my, I know two things. I know I'm the creator of my life, and I know my children are not gone. They're actually more with me now than they were when they were in the physical. When they were in the physical, they were grown. They were living their life. They weren't always with me. I remember my son, who only lived 40 minutes away, I saw him maybe twice a year. Okay? So he's with me now 24/7, both of them. So they're more with me now, and I know they are. I have conversations with them all the time. So for me, the thing that makes me most happy is knowing who I am, and the thing I'm most thankful for, that was the question. The thing I'm most thankful for is knowing who I am and living my life purpose. That is what I'm most thankful for.
What's the secret to remembering who we really are?
For each person, it will be different. Each soul has a soul plan as to when and how to awaken that soul to who they truly are. And it'll be uniquely different for every person. For me, it was watching a film about quantum physics, and it was one sentence. That one sentence that was the key, the catalyst to my awakening, was that the biggest problems in the world today is the illusion of separation. Now, when I heard that sentence, something woke up inside of me. It was not an intellectual, okay, that sounds good. No, I cannot even put it into words. It was truly a spontaneous spiritual awakening. And it was one sentence for me that woke me up. And it was all about actually quantum physics, understanding that quantum physics teaches that we are all connected. We are all energy. We're all one. That's the core principle of quantum physics. And I'm not a scientist, but I can explain it where people can understand it, because many people have told me, I get it now. I can't get it when a scientist explains it because they go over my head. But I'm telling you that it's as simple. Quantum physics, ancient wisdom, and spirituality all teach us that we are all one with each other and all one with God.
What does our soul want us to know?
Our soul wants us to remember who we are and why we came. That is the main thing our soul wants from all of us. But our soul also is following our soul plan. So not in every lifetime, because we live hundreds, if not thousands of lifetimes. So not in every lifetime did the soul say, for that lifetime, this soul is going to wake up. If that's not in the soul plan, then it's not that soul's plan to wake up in that lifetime.
Is there a positive message or message of hope you'd like to leave us with?
Hope. That's an interesting word to me, because I know a lot of people like that word. That word hope is not a part of my vocabulary, in the sense that for me it's a knowing. It's not a hope. I don't just hope that we're eternal beings of light. I know it. I don't hope that this world of duality, this 3D matrix of duality, is ending, and we're moving to a higher shift. The great awakening is happening. I don't hope it. I know it. So for me, it's a knowing. But what I want to say is, I hope that I can help to inspire others to go within, tap within inside their heart and their soul, and wake up to that knowing. So they don't have to hope, that they know that who they truly are, and they know that the light we're already going to the light, and the shift is happening, and there's nothing to be afraid of. Once you know so that's my hope. My hope is that I can inspire others to go within and to wake up to who they are.